Good morning, children. So let me start with the liberalization, meaning and features we have done yesterday. We have completed. So today I'm going to do, and in your syllabus, only the meaning and features of the three policies of new economic policies there in your syllabus, in the reduced syllabus. So meaning and features of privatization. Let me start. So all of you open your book, okay? Chapter number 11, page number 159. Okay, privatization meaning I have already told you. What is the process of privatization? In this, government expand the private sector. How it expands the private sector? What it does, it just transfer the ownership right of the public sector enterprises from government to the private sector. Is it clear? Okay, and how it transfer? By selling the shares of the public sector industries to the private sector. This is the process what the government adopt, so that government can do the process of privatization. So privatization is nothing but transfer of ownership right of the public sector from the government control to the private sector. Is it clear? So just see, all of you in the book, I'm just turning the, and in this only meaning is there, rational is not there, and after meaning straight away we will start an argument in favor, argument against privatization is not in your syllabus, only meaning and features of privatization. Okay, so now I'm turning the camera and just see and try to underline, all of you. So you see meaning. What is the meaning of privatization? Privatization basically implies the process which leads to transfer of ownership of public sector enterprises from government to the private sector. Is it clear? Then taken in wider sense, privatization also implies the process of granting autonomy to the public sector enterprises in decision making and infusing the spirit of commercialization in them. Till here. This complete is your meaning of privatization. Okay. Now these rationals are not in your syllabus. These all are not. Argument against privatization is not in your syllabus. Straight away we will start with the features of privatization. Is it clear? Now let us see with the features of privatization. What were the basic features? Page number 162. First is policy of dereservation. Okay, what do you mean by the policy of dereservation? Dereservation means earlier many sectors were there which were totally reserved for the public sector, and private individuals were not allowed to start the production of those sectors in those sectors. Is it clear? So total reservation was there for the public sector. Now, under the policy of privatization, government has adopted the policy of dereservation. Means earlier 17 industries were reserved for public sector. Means those 17 industries, the private sector were not allowed to establish industries under those 17 sector. Then what the government has done in 1991, government has adopted the policy of dereservation, and government has now reduced those 17 industries which were reserved for the public sector. Now only 8 industries reserved for the public sector. But later government has kept only 3 industries reserved for the public sector. So the first feature of privatization is policy of dereservation, means reducing the number of industries reserved for the public sector. Second, policy towards sick public sector undertaking. What do you mean by sick public sector undertaking? Sick public sector undertaking means those public sector industries which were continuously running in losses. Continuously, they were not giving any profit to the government. They were continuously running in the losses. So government has adopted one committee. The committee name is Central Public Sector Enterprise. This Central Public Sector Enterprise was established so that those sick public sector industries can be revived. So that can be so that those industries can start getting the profit. That is the second feature. Third, policy of Navratna and Mini Ratna. Now what the government has done, under those which were the sick public sector industries, sick means those were continuously running in the losses, government has handed over those industries to the private sector. But there were certain public sector industries which were doing very good and earning lot of profit. Government has given them the name as Navratna and Mini Ratna. Navratna and Mini Ratna are including those industries which were continuously in profit and doing well in the public sector. So government has started, a policy in which they have given lot of power to the management of the Navratnas and Mini Ratnas, so that they can get more and more profit. That is the third feature of privatization. Fourth feature, memorandum of understanding. Memorandum of understanding is nothing but is to grant autonomy, is to grant a lot of power to the public sector enterprises by reducing the quality of control and by increasing the quantity of accountability. Is it clear? Because earlier government was having so much of control on the public sector industries, and those people, those who are associated with those public sector industries, were not able to take any decision. That's why those industries were running in losses, and that's why we have many industries which were there, which were sick, running in the losses. So to short such kind of the problem, government has started one policy. The name of the policy was Memorandum of Understanding, which is called MOU. MOU is the short form of Memorandum of Understanding. Under this, the main objective of Memorandum of Understanding is to grant autonomy or full power to public sector enterprises so that they can reduce the quantity of control. Okay, the government's quantity of control has been reduced, and it has increased the quantity of accountability of the management. That is the meaning of Memorandum of Understanding. Then fifth feature of privatization, voluntary retirement scheme. Voluntary retirement scheme, the short form is VRS. Voluntary retirement scheme, the short form of the voluntary retirement scheme is VRS. VRS means many public sector enterprises were running in loss. One of the main reason of the loss occurred in the public sector enterprises was overstaffing. Means number of employees needed less, but excessive number of employees were working in the public sector enterprises. So government has introduced. Okay, so children, I was doing a discussion on voluntary retirement scheme. So I was telling you that public sector enterprises were suffering from the problem of overstaffing. So to solve the problem of overstaffing, government has offered to the employees of public sector enterprises that you take voluntary retirement by your own, and a good amount of compensation government will pay to those employees who are taking the voluntary retirement. That's why the name of this scheme was called under privatization as voluntary retirement scheme. Then next feature is disinvestment policy. Okay, disinvestment policy is the policy where government sells the shares of the public sector unit in the market to the private sector. This policy is called private sector disinvestment policy. Is it clear? Now I'm going to make you people underline of the features of privatization in the book, so that it will be easy for you people to learn those lines only. Now see the features, all of you, in the book. The first feature is the policy of de-reservation. Okay, under this you see the industrial policy resolution of 1956 had reserved 17 industries for the public sector. Okay, now how many industries were reserved earlier? 17. Now the industrial policy of 1991 reduced the number of such industries to 8. Earlier it was reserved 17, now it reduced to 8. Okay, then the number of industries reserved exclusively for the public sector was further reduced to 3. And which were the industries which were reserved for the public sector? The 3 industries: atomic energy, specified minerals, and railways. These are the 3 industries which were exclusively reserved for the public sector. Then this much, this whole paragraph you people have to study under the policy, first feature of privatization, that is policy of dereservation. Second point is policy towards sick public sector enterprises. Now see all of you and underline, sick public sector enterprises are those enterprises which had been incurring heavy losses year after year. This is the meaning of sick public sector enterprises. Okay, then from here, in persuasion of the new industrial policy, sick public sector enterprises were brought within the jurisdiction of BIFR for their revival and rehabilitation with effect from 1992. Now, what is the full form of BIFR? Full form of BIFR is this: Board for Industrial and Financial Reconstruction. From here till here. Only for the heading you need it. Is it clear? Then, this, in persuasion of new industrial policy, sick public sector enterprises were brought within the jurisdiction of BIFR for their revival, rehabilitation with effect from 1992. Okay, then, next point, chronically sick public sector enterprise were referred to BIFR for their revival and rehabilitation. Chronically means those industries which were in a very bad condition were given to BIFR. Okay, and how many such cases were there? 65 cases of central public sector enterprises were referred to BIFR at different times. Is it clear? Then after that you people, only this much you people have to learn under the policy of sick public sector enterprises. And then after that, see the next third feature, that is policy for Navratna and Mini Ratna. You see all of you, the government introduced the Navratna scheme in 1997 to identify Central Public Sector Enterprise, CPSE. Full form is Central Public Sector Enterprises that had comparatively advantage and support them in their drive to become global giant. Okay, now the government has made an attempt to improve the efficiency of central public sector enterprises by giving them, this is the main line, autonomy in making managerial decisions. It has granted enhanced power to board of director of various profit-making central public sector enterprises known as Maharatna, Navratna and Mini Ratna. Alright, so Maharatna, Navratna and Mini Ratna are those central public sector enterprises which were continuously making profit. Okay, further, then after that, the Navratna originated as the part of the program of the government in 1992 to identify high performing and high profit making public sector enterprises. Okay, then after this you people see, after this you these enterprises were provided financial and managerial autonomy to become global giant. This was done in order to improve efficiency, infuse professionalism and to enable central public sector enterprises to compete more effectively in the liberalized global environment. Is it clear? Then after that, next, during 2010-11, the government introduced the Maharatna scheme under which mega Navratna public sector enterprises have been empowered to expand their operation both in the domestic as well as foreign market. Is it clear? Till here you people have to do. Okay, and then next line, as on 31st March 2018, there were 8 Maharatnas and 16 Navratna. The Mini Ratna companies followed suit to giant enhance autonomy and delegation of financial enterprises to some other profit-making companies. This much you people have to do under the third feature. Now, what is the fourth feature? Memorandum of Understanding. The government had entered into Memorandum of Understanding with public sector enterprises with the purpose of improving their performance. The main objective of Memorandum MOU is to grant, this is the main thing, autonomy to the public sector enterprises by reducing the quantity of control and increasing the quality of accountability for management. It aims at bringing a balance between autonomy and accountability. Is it clear? Then after that, the purpose. The purpose of MOU is to ensure a level of playing field for the public sector versus vice versa private cooperative sector. The government evaluate the performance of the public sector enterprises through performance evaluation based on the comparison between actual achievement and the annual target set by the government. The public sector enterprises entering into MOU with the government are giving rating as per the performance. Rating on 5-point scale: excellent, very good, good, fair and poor are given to the public sector enterprises as an initiative to improve their efficiency. Is it clear? Till here you people have to write first paragraph here and then here in the memorandum of understanding. Next, voluntary retirement scheme. Under this you see, many of the public sector undertakings have been facing the problem of overstaffing. Government has initiated a voluntary retirement scheme in the public sector enterprises to reduce the number of excess workers. Under this scheme, workers seeking voluntary retirement are given financial compensation. As a result of this scheme, the government has succeeded in reducing the excess number of employees working with the public sector enterprises. This is the feature of the privatization. Now see the sixth feature, that is called disinvestment policy. What is disinvestment policy? The policy of disinvestment refers to the selling of government equity in the public sector unit in the market. Under this policy, a part of the government shareholding in the selected public sector undertaking is offered to the private investors, financial institutions, mutual funds, workers and public at large. Disinvestment of shares of selected number of profit-making public sector enterprises is being done in order to raise resources with the objective of reducing public debt burden, to provide funds for giving assistance to public sector undertaking for their modernization, and to encourage wider participation of general public workers in the ownership of the public sector enterprises. This much you people have to do under disinvestment policy. Is it clear? So these are the 6 features of privatization. All right. Now, tomorrow I'm going to complete this chapter, when I will complete meaning of globalization and features of globalization. Is it clear to all of you? Now, you read these features of privatization, whatever lines I made you people underline, and if you find any kind of the problem in understanding in any of the point, you can WhatsApp me by so that I'll able to understand, and then tomorrow before explaining globalization I will make your doubts clear of the features of privatization. Okay, so for today only this much. Thank you children.